Alrighty, folks. Answering a couple of questions that I put up on Instagram the other day. So it's taken me a little while with High Rocks yesterday and moving down into the beach house for a couple of weeks before I head to Europe. Been a little bit crazy. So I'll try and answer a few of these as well as possible. We've got a good range of questions. Some about training, nutrition, others just about lifestyle stuff. So we'll see how we go. First question from Jack. What keeps me motivated? So I like to always have something in mind that I'm training for, and that keeps me aligned with everything else. If I don't have something I'm training for, I fall off the wagon, and I lose any routine in my life, which isn't a good thing. I like to be really structured. I like for anything that I'm putting in my body, anything I'm doing with my body to align with what I'm trying to achieve at a certain time. So it's just having a really clear, defined, this is what I have in 3 months' time, this is what I need to do to be able to get it done, and then I can just get it done. There is obviously times where I'm relaxed and not super strict with everything, but I find that I definitely need things to look forward to be able to stay super motivated, to be able to keep going and achieving goals. And that's what High Rocks was yesterday. So now I need to chase another goal. With sprint season coming out, will probably be something along those lines. We'll see what happens. Second question from Eb. How do I stay lean all year round? I definitely don't. And I definitely have times where my body composition is relaxed and I just let whatever happens, especially over summer. Generally, there's a time where, Christmas and New Year's where you're not super focused. So body composition does change. I think the biggest key to controlling body composition and staying lean all year round is your training intensity. You'll find that if you want to train at a certain intensity, whether that's in the gym, whether that's running, whether you have a 5K goal, marathon, football, netball, whatever it may be, when you want to train at a certain intensity, your nutrition habits are a reflection of that. If I eat greasy food the night before a massive training session, I'm not going to be able to train at that same intensity that I want to, and I'm going to feel pretty shitty throughout it. So what happens, your behavior then changes. I know the night before I need to train well, I need to eat well as well. And then you feel really good during the training session. And then it's this behavior reward kind of system where you start to see these changes. And you're like, this feels good. I like this kind of thing. I'm going to continue to do that. And by staying lean all year round, all that means is that I'm trying to stay as efficient and as effective as possible in my training. And just as a result of that, my nutrition, which allows my body composition to stay quite lean, is just a natural reflection of those kind of things. So have a really good training goal, experience what it feels like to fuel properly within your training. You'll then get that reward and you'll see feels amazing. I then want to be able to fuel properly. Your body composition naturally just changes as it is. Next question. What does my nutrition look like day to day? So again, it depends on training goals and what I'm trying to achieve. Generally, when I've got something in mind, whether I am dropping a little bit of body fat or trying to compete lean, I'm normally eating same breakfast, which is normally Wheat Bix and protein powder with some milk, or oats and protein powder. Doesn't really matter. Lunch is generally some sort of meat and salad. If I'm big training load or I'm not too caring about what's actually going in my body, I'll have some carbs like rice, chips, whatever it might be during lunchtime. I like a lighter lunch, otherwise I need to nap in the afternoon. I hate napping. I find it's a waste of time. Really good for you, and I do enjoy it when I have to do it. But if I feel as though I've had a massive lunch, there's nothing worse than obviously needing to nap after a food coma. And then dinner is, same kind of thing. Some kind of meat, some kind of veg, whether that's veggies or salad, and then some kind of carb source as well. And around my training, I'll generally try to get in some carbs and some protein. It's been consistent for probably 2 or 3 years now where my diet really hasn't changed too much. Again, when I'm not training for anything in particular, I'll relax. I don't care if I have burgers and pizza or whatever, but I know that once I get back into and trying to do something really big or have an event coming up, that's where I need to bring things back into what I know works best for my body. Next question, the favourite event that I've done, and this is from Locke. I've done a few things now, the Red Bull Adventure Race up in Cairns, 200 kilometers over 2 days, was really cool. I love the Ballarat Marathon just from being the inaugural one in Ballarat, having a fair bit to do with the preparation of that. I think that was really cool to get done. High Rocks yesterday was fantastic. I really love the atmosphere, being surrounded by so many fit people. What else have I done? We did a 220 kilometre mountain bike ride over 3 days. A few of us boys a couple of years ago from Bendigo to Ballarat. Love that. CrossFit events. I've done a fair bit. I can't really put a finger on what I enjoy. I really enjoyed the Barwon Heads Triathlon a couple of years ago. I'll probably get into some triathlons after the sprint season again this year. I also like mixing it up with favourite events. Like, I think we're in a pretty fortunate position in Australia. We have access to so many different events, varying from, adventure, endurance, sprint style, where you can move your body really well. I think it's cool just to put your hat in the ring and give anything a crack. All right, this is from Zach. So my favourite training split, I've essentially rolled the exact same training split for probably 3 or 4 years now, where Sunday's going to be a lower body, maybe normally sprint based lower body session to help with my sprinting. Monday, Tuesday are going to be upper body sessions. They're probably 45 minutes long. I normally do a chest, a back, shoulders, biceps, triceps in each of those. Wednesdays and then another sprinting session based gym workout, and then Thursday, Fridays upper body gym. Again, very similar, like the chest, back, shoulders, bis and tris. I just enjoy moving 6 days a week, 7 days a week. And then on top of that, depending on what kind of endurance or sprinting that I'm doing, I'll do my running sessions Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday as well. So I've been quite consistent with that probably, for 3 or 4 years. Seems to be working. It fits in with my daily life, and that's the biggest thing. Like, it doesn't matter, I don't think, what training split you actually do, as long as you can stay consistent with it over time. It's gonna pay dividends with you being able to achieve your goals. This one's anonymous. So this is, I have too many beers on the weekend during winter because of footy season. How do I lose weight? Great question. So, like, super social time of the year for, country footballers and netballers. Winter, especially in country towns, it's just generally what we do. I definitely love a few beers on a Saturday after a game. I think the main thing is, if you know you're going to have a few drinks and you want some body composition or training goals achieved in your life, you need to control generally 80% of everything that's around it. So that 80% rule, I like to think of it as a 17-21. So generally in 7 days, you're going to have 21 main meals. So breakfast, lunch, dinner by 7, 21. If you can control 17 to 18 of those meals really, really well, you're generally going to work and progress towards your goals that you're trying to achieve. When you're having beers on the weekend, obviously that probably counteracts like a Saturday night dinner. You might have some snacks late Saturday night or Sunday morning, and then Sunday morning's generally a write-off, maybe even Sunday lunch. So you got to account for those 3 or 4 meals that you're going to influence during your week. So it means the rest of your week just needs to be really focused. That's if you want body composition or training goals achieved. If you're not really caring too much about it, just live life, have as many beers as you want on a Saturday night responsibly. But if you are wanting to drop some extra kilos of body fat, or increase that lean muscle mass, or have a 5K, 10K, 21 marathon or something like that training for, you then need to make sure that everything else around it is pretty much fixed up. Alrighty, next question. We have starting to get into running. How do I integrate my gym workouts into my week as well? And this is from Mick. So it's a really good question. When you're initially starting to run, if you're a beginner trying to start, you're probably running, 2 to 3 times a week. I generally recommend a minimum of 2 training sessions in the gym based around your running. So we're building capacity of the lower body. We also want to do a couple of upper body exercises as well. But if you can prioritize and always maintain a minimum of 2 gym sessions a week in your training week as a runner, whether that's just a really simple, 1K, 5K, 10K, it doesn't even matter, up to your marathoners. I think that's a really good starting point. The worst thing you could possibly be doing on top of your running, if you are just getting into it, is doing lots of types of jumps in your training sessions, your gym training sessions, on top of the extra running. So you're just thinking about loading the ankles and the knees and the hips a lot more with all those extra jumps. And what that generally means is you're just controlling the type of training that you're going to be doing. So we're probably moving away from like any group fitness type of stuff where you might be, program box jumps or skipping or crazy little jump movements in the class, more towards that injury prevention and building resilience and robustness of the lower body. That's what we're trying to do. But that's a really good question, Mick, and it does take a little while to adjust, and you're going to be sore, especially when starting off. But I highly recommend finding that balance between your running sessions and a couple of gym sessions a week as well. All right, next question from Sarah. It is, do I enjoy working with Gen Pop or athletes better? Definitely there is I don't have a favourite. I just love working with people who want to make changes. I think that's a really, really cool thing. From my teaching days, 6 years of teaching, you're in a classroom and you might have 5 kids in a class out of your 25 actually want to be there. I think when you're in the health and fitness industry, you can almost guarantee that anyone who rocks up into a gym or that you're programming for online or that you're working with wants to be there, and they just want to get better. And whether that's, Gen Pop, whether that's your person coming off injury, whether that's, a 50, 60-year-old wanting to start to include some strength work into their lifestyle, whether that's someone who's trying to make, Commonwealth Games or Olympic Games or get drafted or something. I don't think there's any big difference there, because riding those sense of accomplishments with the people that you're working with, that's what makes it really special. And it doesn't actually mean too much to what that accomplishment is, but as long as they're working towards it and they're trying to achieve it, that's what, fills my cup. And that's what I enjoy most, just seeing those kind of things happen. So there's really no difference there. I just love working with anyone who wants to make positive, healthy lifestyle changes, to be honest. And that's hopefully what I'll be able to get to do for the rest of my life, and continue to influence and motivate people to, seek those healthy changes, I think. Next question from Nath. What is the timeframes you like to use for weight loss? So we'll go body composition or any kind of changes. I think, so if we look at some meta-analysis that's been done in the last probably couple of years, the minimum amount of time for any body composition changes or training goals is generally about 6 weeks. And then the further end of that is going to be 12 weeks. So somewhere in between that 6 to 12 I think is a really nice spot. After 12 weeks, especially if it's body composition changes, being consistent after 12 weeks becomes really hard from a foundation and structure point of view. What I like to think about is working with someone for 12 weeks really intensely, building that foundation and that structure to then give them a little bit of freedom post those 12 weeks where they can have, a 6-week block where they're a little bit less focused, a little bit more chill about things. And then you can come back in, re-engage, work on some new goals, and then set another 12-week block. As we know, everything's lifelong and long-term for these kind of changes. So yes, we want to be short and sharp. We can make really good changes, but it's what happens after that. And I believe that a really intense, 12-week block, 12-week block can set up the foundations for that lifelong success in whatever it may be, whether that is your body composition control, whether that's your training goals or anything. So that's why I generally recommend and have a minimum 12 weeks working with me, because then we get to re-engage after that, reassess, look at your goals, look at what we accomplished, and then reset and plan ahead from there. All right, last question, and it is from Benny Boy. What do we got there? What are your 3 favorite exercises to do in the gym? I'm going to go a full bro answer here. I love a flat barbell bench press. I do that twice a week minimum. I love a heavy pull-up, so strapping some weights to the body. And I suppose I better go a leg exercise. I can't squat anymore really below parallel, just from an ACL injury, 6-7 years ago, whenever that was, and a pretty crappy back that I just need to manage. So I do love a barbell box squat. And if you follow along, obviously during sprint season, I manipulate those box squats to different heights and just depending on the season as well for power development, transferring that strength. So yeah, I'd go bench press, pull up, box squat. And to be honest, I think if you did those three things consistently over a certain amount of time and, you know, a really structured kind of time frame and rep scheme and sets and whatnot periodized, I think you'd achieve some pretty good results as well. So I think there are three pretty big compound exercises that you can be doing, and they're definitely my favorite to do. Actually, I'll add a fourth little one. I do love, there's something about a machine preacher curl that just hits the biceps differently. And I don't train bars super hard or anything like that. But if I do and am in a space where there is a machine preacher curl, I'm hitting that thing as much as I possibly can while I'm there because I do love it. But yeah, they're my main three plus a little extra juicy one as well.